Hello friends, welcome to the session. Today we will discuss political thought of Bal Gangadhar Tilak, also known as the BG Tilak. Friends, Bal Gangadhar Tilak has been a very renowned figure of Indian freedom movement. He led the movement of home rule. He also provided an ideology about Swarajya. He was an staunch advocate of Indian culture, and he used to think that the Indian way of looking at the society, the Indian view, the Indian culturalistic view to solve the problems of the society is very, very important, and it should be established. It should be presented before the world so that it can provide solution to the problems of its contemporary times. Friends, if you talk about a political thinker, you always think that any political thinker should provide solution. He will provide an idea that how a state should be, how the state should take care of its people, how it should securitize the rights of their citizens. He should place the duties before them so that the society, that state can develop itself. And from every political thinker, we expect that the political philosophy, a speculative construction of an idealistic utopia in the sense of a perfect state. But if you talk about Indian political thinking scenario, most of the political thinkers do not indulge themselves in such a short canvas of political thinking that they should only talk about what a perfect state should look like. Rather than they provide the solutions to the small problems so that ultimately that calibration of the problems, that solution can lead to a greater goal. Okay. Now, as far as we discuss about Tilak, he does not discuss the feature and possibilities of the best state like Plato, Aristotle and Cicero. He does not create the architecture of a perfect state like Hegel and Bosanquet. His main problem was that political emancipation of India and the realism of the situation. Because India was a colony of Britishers at that time, India was losing its culture. The societal bond that has been developed over the period of time in India, that was striking, that was disseminating. So this was the idea of Tilak, that how we can construct a society, okay, that can actually attain the Swarajya in its own mind so that it can get free from all the shackles, and ultimately India will get the freedom from Britishers also. Friends, Indian national freedom movement has many perspectives to look at it. Some look at it from an economic perspective, some look at it at social perspective, some look at it as a spiritual perspective. There are some thinkers who combine all the things, and they said that India was supposed to get shackled by the Britishers because there were some ambiguities, there were some wrongdoings which were happening in the Indian society. Thinkers like Raja Ram Mohan Rai, thinkers like Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar, thinkers like BG Tilak, thinkers like even Mahatma Gandhi himself. Mahatma Gandhi also said that getting freedom, getting Swarajya in the sense of political freedom is of course the main aim. But before that, we have to attain that higher level of soul, higher level of personalities of Indians, so that if they get freedom, then after that, how will they run their own state? For that purpose, the kings, the citizens, the organs of the ministry, the organ of the state, they should have higher moral standard so that the state can run smoothly and it can work for the welfare of its people. Like I am providing you an example like trusteeship. So Gandhi provided that trusteeship is it's something that is inbuilt in a people, and we should create such scenarios so that the rich people, the owners of the property, they can look themselves at the trustee of their property, not the owner, so that they can also work for the people who are marginal, who are oppressed. Now the Swarajya. The Swarajya of Tilak, the Swarajya of Gandhi, they were actually converging to a same point. But to attain that Swarajya, some they have some different opinions. Okay, so with this background, we will now discuss the political philosophy of Tilak. The dominant metaphysical assumption of Tilak also influenced his political ideas. He was a Vedantist. He was a propagator of the Aryan home rule, Aryan's theory, migration of Aryans, then the home rule movement. He was a very, very fine reader of Vedanta philosophy, the Advaita philosophy. And from those philosophies from which he was influenced, he picked those ideas of natural rights, because the conception of natural rights is inbuilt in ancient Indian literature. And Tilak brought that idea from there. He was not influenced by his contemporary writings of Western thinkers. Rather, he was influenced by the ancient Indian literature. Because the spirit is the supreme reality. Now, this is the point I was talking about. Any state cannot attain the highest level of living. The citizens cannot attain the highest standard of morality until and unless their soul is not developed. So Tilak also emphasized the same, that because the spirit is the supreme reality and because all men participate in that absolute essence, hence all have the same autonomous spiritual potentiality. Because as per the ideas enshrined in Indian ancient literature, every soul is free and is a part of the Almighty. Therefore, you cannot contain the spiritual thinking of any person because it comes right out from its soul, his or her soul, and you cannot contain it. It is something free from all shackles. So, this is the responsibility and this is the natural right of every person, and this is the responsibility of every state to create such circumstances so that every soul can attain the highest standard. Freedom was the soul of the home rule movement, which was led by B.G. Tilak, Annie Besant. Okay. The divine instinct of freedom never aged soul, which Vedanta declares to be not separate from God. There are two philosophies, the Vedanta, Dvaita and Advaita. The followers of Dvaita believe, they think that the soul and the God are the different thing, and the ultimate purpose of the soul is to worship the God. This is the Dvaita society, and it is somewhat similar to the Christian way of thinking about God, that ultimate aim is to worship the God. The Advaita says that no, the soul and the God are not different. They are actually same. Soul is just a reflection. The human soul is just a reflection of God. And ultimately, every particle wants to get submerged into its party. Okay. This freedom was a principle that could never perish. You cannot perish this. You cannot take this right of every individual of the freedom. And very important, I am again highlighting that this was coming right out from the Indian ancient literature. He read many literatures of the world, the Western thinkers also, the medieval thinkers also, but something which influenced him the most was the ancient Indian thinking. Now, his views on nationalism. Lokmanya, he was also referred as Lokmanya. So Lokmanya wanted to substantiate the nationalistic movement in India by a strong cultural and revival of Hinduism. Okay. But he also accepted, we can say, the economic argument of nationalism. Dadabhai Nauroji, as you know, made the famous drain theory in Indian economics, and he provided that how Britishers are actually draining the wealth from India. And both Lokmanya along with the Gokhale, we can say, accepted that the foreign imperialism resulted in the enormous amount of drain of the wealth from India. Okay. Tilak himself wrote some articles in the paper Kesari, for which he used to write articles, and on the Diamond Jubilee of Queen Victoria. He said that India's art and industries has declined under the Britishers. Okay, so he accepted that there is an economic aspect of the British rule in India, but the cultural aspect, the revival of Hinduism is also required. Therefore, he took some extraordinary measures to awake Hindus. And what he did, He pointed out that Shivaji and the Ganpati festivals had been encouraged by him because they served to link contemporary events and movement with historical traditions. Actually, they were bringing together all the classes of Hinduism so that they can work towards a common goal. Some critics of national movement, the way Indian national movement took place, some critics says that the leaders like B.G. Tilak, they actually they actually shattered the way of movement, because these leaders do not calculate the minorities in the movement process. That is why the minorities feel apart from the whole process, and that is why they ask for the separate state. Okay. Now, Tilak's critic, as I was telling you, he was also criticized for being anti-Muslim politician. Some historians blame Lokmanya Tilak, and I'm really going to tell you that all these the historians, they look, they were most of them were Westerners. Okay, so but this is also a viewpoint, so you should have take it into account that some historians blame Lokmanya Tilak and Aurobindo for their identification of national awakening with the revival of Hinduism, because these philosophers used to think that India cannot awake until and unless there is the revivalism of Hinduism, and that actually cut off the Muslim masses from the national movement, and as I was telling you. But instances have been observed where this particular sentence do not withstand, as these are partial and incorrect interpretation of political thought. Jinnah, M.A. Ansari and Hassan Imam have praised the nationalistic sentiments and spirit of compromise of Lokmanya. And it was a wise counsel of Lokmanya which actually led to the coalition of Congress itself in the Lucknow Pact of 1916. Tilak was also instrumental in that. So we can say. Now, as I was telling you, Swarajya. B.G. Tilak said that Swarajya is the birthright of Indians. And he also wrote that Swaraj is the foundation and not the height of our cultural prosperity. So Swaraj is the right. It's a predicament, we can say. It's a preliminary requirement to attain the future prosperity. It is not the prosperity itself. It is just an element of a big canvas. It is something which is required at a preliminary stage, so that the state can make arrangement for its people to get themselves developed in the sense of development of soul. Okay. So during the Home Rule movement, Lokmanya was careful to say that he was not opposed. This is something you also have to learn. He was not directly oppressing. He was not directly criticizing the British Raj. Actually, he was saying that for that particular time, at the time when Tilak was there, the British rule was somewhat necessary in order to make Hindu awaken. Okay. Bipin Chandrapal says that Lokmanya was a believer in imperial federation, which could be composed of Great Britain. He was actually the supporter of, we can say, the Commonwealth. India should be a sovereign state, but it can work as a dominions like there were other dominions of Great Britain at that particular time, so that it came into the natural flow, into the process of development, and internally can it also provide and protect the purpose. So India should be sovereign, but it can be the part of the Commonwealth or the dominion of Great Britain. This was the opinion of Bal Gangadhar Tilak. So friends, this was the session. Now the important question which may be asked: compare and contrast between the nationalism of Tilak and Aurobindo. Friends, the nationalistic features, the philosophy of Tilak and Aurobindo are somewhat, we can say, very identical to each other. However, Aurobindo was more metaphysical, and he established that the individual development is the key to a social development, and ultimately the social development will lead to the national freedom. So Tilak has also somewhat provided the same idea. So Tilak, the political thoughts of Tilak and Aurobindo are actually equivalent to each other. Both have their some different ways to establish this idea. Now, the Swarajya of Gandhi and Lokmanya. Swarajya of Gandhi and Lokmanya were also they were also converging to a same point. Gandhi's idea was to, we can say, the Swarajya of Gandhi was to the Swarajya of a person to himself. Okay, Swaraj means the sense the person should Swarajya. If in Hindi we define this Swarajya, it means self-ruling, and self-ruling not only in the sense of political ruling, but also in the sense of at spiritual level. Okay, a person should be able to rule himself. He can take whatever direction he want to do so. And Lokmanya was also talking in the same way, but he was also talking in the political context. Friends, that's all for the lecture. Thank you.